What's up, you movie collecting maniacs, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host, as always, Jay Schatzer, and today is another Quickie movie haul review. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and the pile never stops, so gotta get back into it. But yeah, really had a great time at Goblin last night. They played in my local theater, and it was a really great performance. Claudio really knocked it out of the park, and the rest of the gang really did a great job. They played all their greatest hits from some of his lower stuff that people might not have heard of, like Cut and Run, and from Demons, and then up to they did a rendition of Halloween, their themes, and then Exorcist, and then did this favorites like Suspiria, Deep Red, and even the Dawn of the Dead soundtrack. So it was really awesome. The acoustics in the theater that I was at were badass. I was direct center, getting bombarded by the bass and drums and guitar. Just really awesome night. I never thought I'd be able to see them in concert, so that was really awesome that they were just right in town for the horror fest that was going on. But on to the Quickie movie haul video with the good stuff that we're here to showcase off. Let's dive right in and see what we have. This one I've been waiting for it to come out for a long time, ever since I saw it was announced, because it's a 2-pack, and both of these movies I've seen. One I've actually seen recently, and it was really, really cool. But I've always wanted to own them, and now it is in the collection. This is the Film Masters Special Edition, and Film Masters seems to be kind of a up-and-coming kind of classic movie distributor, and they have a lot of stuff in the works that I have my eye on, but this one was one of them. It is the giant Gila monster and the killer Shrews. And I guess the best way to describe the killer Shrews is pretty much Night of the Living Dead, but on an island, and instead of zombies, it's giant rat creatures. So it's pretty much people just surviving in this building, trying to fortify it while fighting with themselves, and the Shrews are trying to get in. And it's just insane. It's a really cool film. I've seen it maybe like a couple years ago, and I've always wanted to own it, but it was never available, and somebody put it out on Blu-ray, and now it's in the collection. And the giant Gila monster, I actually watched that one last month for the first time, and it's pretty cool. It's like a combination of drag racing teens and a giant Gila monster. So it's just a monster creature feature flick with kind of teenage kids. It's interesting and very strange, but I just love the dynamic between the kids and then the parents and the sheriff. It's just one of those kind of delinquent movies, I guess, from the 40s and 50s. I'm trying to think of what the year is on this one, but 1959 for at least that's probably for the giant Gila monster. But yeah, just a great pairing of movies. Really glad to have them on Blu-ray now, and I'm really looking forward to all of these guys' output, the Film Masters. Yeah, they've got a whole slew of them coming out in the next few months. I don't really know where they came from or what the story is, but really great looking company that's putting out a lot of films from the black and white era. You know, a lot of creature feature films and kind of atomic age films, those kind of things. But yep, the giant Gila monster and the killer Shrews. Hell yeah, sign me up. But let's move it on to a totally different film. This one, Kino put this one out, and I picked it up at their last, well, not their last sale. It was the sale before that took a whole long-ass time for it to come, because for some reason some of the movies were out of print, so they had to wait, and then once those ones came in, the other ones went out of print. Real big hassle, but I finally got my order. And the movie that I'm talking about is the 80s comedy that is near and dear to my heart, because I used to watch it constantly for some reason. It is The Experts. And it's a weird, wild film. It stars John Travolta, and I always forget this actor's name, but he was actually in House 2, if you've ever seen that. But yeah, it's pretty much these two knuckleheads get captured by the KGB and taken to the Soviet Union and are kind of held in this Americanized suburb kind of town and are forced to think that they're still in America, and they're just there to put a nightclub, to run a nightclub there, so they can kind of do research on how Americans are, I guess. But it's pretty funny because they kind of like get to know all the townsfolk, and they start really liking them, and then they revolt and they want to have freedom like America does, and it's just ridiculous. It's fun. John Travolta's fun in it. Kelly Preston, his wife, or I don't know if they were married at the time, they probably met here, but she's smoking hot in this one. But it's I've always had a soft spot for it. When I saw that Kino was going to be releasing it, I wanted to pick it up as soon as possible because it's literally been forever since I've seen it. But love the hell out of it, The Experts. But I know a lot of you probably never even heard of this movie, but it's fun 80s comedy. But let's keep moving along to a Stephen King adaptation that is absolutely outstanding. It is directed by David Cronenberg. I own it in various formats. It is The Dead Zone. And this is the edition that was put out by Scream Factory. So it's got a beautiful slipcover there with some excellent artwork. And then you got the original kind of movie poster art right there. But, yeah, The Dead Zone is fantastic. One of Christopher Walken's best films. He's a very genuine, down-to-earth character in this one with very special abilities. The thriller aspects of it are on point. Even political intrigue throughout it is very interesting. Martin Sheen is the dickhead in this one, I believe. And he plays like a crooked politician that's kind of... He's destined to kind of destroy or like set off nukes. So but I mean, I don't want to give too much away if you haven't seen it, but Christopher Walken is kind of a clairvoyant. If he touches people, he can kind of see the future, what's going to happen, and it's pretty much the movie centers around him, how he obtains his ability, kind of his relationship with his family, his girlfriend that he kind of estranges from because of his accident, and just the different people he interacts with and kind of sees their future and helps them out. It's very interesting. I know there was a show based off of this, starring, I can't think of his name. He's from The Breakfast Club, I think. He's one of those 80s Rat Pack kids. But, yeah. This movie, fantastic. David Cronenberg does an amazing job on it. It's not his usual body horror kind of stuff, but it's a very taut thriller with a lot of sci-fi kind of elements in it. And, yeah, just a really great story in general. I love this film to death, and is why I own it on various formats, and now I have it on Blu-ray. But, yep, The Dead Zone, fantastic. But let's move it on to another totally different kind of film and a whole different genre. Very weird, underappreciated film. I know not a lot of people really care about this movie, I guess, but I always thought it was awesome. I don't know why, but it is Cool World. It's Ralph Bakshi's kind of live-action, animated kind of amalgam. I'm pretty sure it was probably after Roger Rabbit, so it's kind of that same style where humans are interacting with the animated world. It stars Brad Pitt in it, and also has Kim Basinger, and it's got Gabriel Byrne, who plays kind of the Ralph Bakshi kind of character where he's an animator whose animation has come to life and kind of has a world of their own. But he kind of... the basic story is that he's an animator. He falls into his animated world and sees that there's there's a whole world that he's created, and it's dangerous, and Brad Pitt is kind of like a detective in that world, but he's a human. I can't remember how he even made it into that world, but it's very interesting, very weird, very taboo in parts, but it's a very solid movie. From what I remember, it's been a while, but I've got pretty vivid memories of the movie. But a huge fan of just Ralph Bakshi in general, just every aspect of his efforts that he's ever put out on film and animated form. Really great stuff. I love his Lord of the Rings, his Wizards, There's the Fritz the Cat. He's got a lot of great stuff, and I own pretty much all of it. But Cool World, finally have it in the collection. I've never owned this one prior, so really excited to finally have it there. But this one is put out by Shout. So, had my eye on it for a while, but finally have it in the collection. And I need some elixir here. Frozen Baja Blast, exquisite. But Cool World, pretty cool if you ask me. But let's move it on to something that I'm very interested in checking out. I'm a huge fan of kind of Spanish cinema, and this is kind of a the legendary Spanish anthology series. So it was kind of a television series with a bunch of different short stories, but it was put out by Severn, and I kind of it came out maybe last year or the year before, and I didn't really jump on it, but I saw it for a really decent price, so I figured I'd pick it up. It is Tales to Keep You Awake. And I know it has a lot of different varying directors throughout it that do different stories. But yeah, it looks really, really interesting. And Spanish cinema has always been kind of a curiosity of mine, that I've been picking up as many Spanish films as I can. And this one just looks fantastic. I don't really have much to say about it because I've done a little bit of research on it, but not enough to kind of give you any info that's going to sway you either way. But looks awesome. And Severn's always reliable with putting out quality stuff. But yeah, really cool looking anthology series, and I'm a sucker for anthology series. It's got they say it's kind of almost like a Twilight Zone-esque, of like a Spanish version of Twilight Zone. But yeah, really cool stuff. And that is that. But up next is Voodoo Man. And Voodoo Man, I do not know much about, other than it stars the fantastic Bela Lugosi. And it looks like it is a black and white horror film. And I don't know much about it. I've been just kind of grabbing up as much old black and white horror flicks as I can. Especially because I get in the mood when fall hits to just kind of dive into kind of classic Universal monsters and all those things. But I don't even know if this is out of the Poverty Row kind of era. But 1944. But it does look fantastic. Olive put this one out. Olive has a lot of really great classic films that they've been kind of getting out there as of recent, and I've been picking up each and every one. And this one was right up my alley, so figured I would grab it up. Voodoo Man. But yeah, I don't really know too much about it. Sorry, sue me. But glad to have it in the collection. Well, let's keep moving on to this is a fun one. It's a Euro spy film, and if you don't know what Euro spy is, it's pretty much James Bond was a huge hit in the 60s, and people wanted to cash in on that success from other countries, so they decided to do their own spy thriller adventure movies, and mostly they were all done in Europe around there. So they kind of dubbed it Euro spy flicks. So they're pretty much James Bond on a lighter budget, but some of them got pretty inventive and branched off into other genres. But this one in particular is very fun. It is Bang Bang You're Dead, and it's more of the vein of the kind of spy or a guy out of his elements being accused of being a spy, so he has to kind of like fall into it, I guess is the best way to explain it. So it's kind of like a misidentity kind of flick. But yeah, really fun movie, great cast. They do a really great job in the role. Tom Randall plays the kind of spy, and Santa Berger, I always know how to say it. She does a fantastic job as kind of the femme fatale in the movie, plays really well off of him. And also Herbert Lom is in this one, so it's a really star-studded kind of production, and it's been a while since I've watched it, but I remember really loving this, and I'm huge into Eurospy. I always pick it up if one comes on Blu-ray. I kind of want to grab it up quick to preserve it. But yep, really fun film, and I don't even know who put Olive Films put this one out as well, so there you go. But up next is another Olive Films distributed film. I've been picking up a whole bunch of them, like I said. This one I watched 2 weekends ago, I believe, at the cottage. Really, really awesome black and white vampire film, but with a very interesting setting where it makes it feel like it's almost a voodoo zombie Caribbean island kind of movie. The movie is The Vampire's Ghost, and really beautifully shot. It has that Universal Monsters movie feel to it. Very atmospheric. It's a vampire film, but you don't really see a lot of vampire elements. I guess just like the vampire in general, it's more of a kind of a mystery of who the vampire is, or how they kind of uncover it. But yeah, it's really, really awesome. I really highly recommend it if you like black and white atmospheric horror films. And yeah, no one talks about this because I don't think many people know about it, but very, very awesome. I wouldn't say it's the most action-packed film in the world, but it does have a great tone and atmosphere to it that kind of lifts it up and makes it a very beautiful and interesting cinematic kind of effort. Really cool, The Vampire's Ghost. Definitely recommend it. Check it out. If you haven't seen it, probably the only way to check it out is to buy it, because I don't think anyone's going to be streaming it. But, yeah. But last, but definitely not least, is one of my absolute favorite movies. It's a comedy / musical, and it's directed by John Waters, and starring Johnny Depp. And if you haven't guessed what it is by now, I don't know what to tell you. It is Crybaby. And I could have sworn that I own this. I know I own this on Blu-ray already. Can't find it anywhere. The last time I watched it, I was dating somebody 2 years ago, and we watched it, and I don't know if I left it at her place. So I need to have it in the collection. So I went out and picked it up super cheap. So it wasn't a big hit to kind of add it again in the collection, but Crybaby, fantastic, really awesome music in it. Johnny Depp does a badass job as kind of an Elvis type character who's a rebel. And the chick in it, I don't know her name because she's not really anyone known, but she does an amazing job in it as well. It's got Ricky Lake in there. You got Tracy Lords, a whole bunch of people. But yeah, fun, super fun film. And it's one of those movies for me that I could just watch, I think, on repeat and still kind of enjoy it over and over and over again. But like I said, had to get it back in the collection because I know I have it on DVD somewhere, but I know I already owned it on Blu-ray, but I don't know where the hell it went. But yep, Crybaby. But oh, that is it for me on this one. A lot of, oh my god, I almost dropped it. A lot of good stuff in there. But yeah, like I said, the pile just keeps kind of raising up, and I've just been taking a kind of a break on video editing as of late. Just a lot of overwhelming stuff going on personally, so just kind of taking a seat back on that. I've been concentrating a little bit on Starfield, the Xbox Bethesda game. Pretty fun, but I've been watching a lot of movies. Friday the 13th is coming up in October next weekend, or this coming weekend. Got a huge kind of party, I guess, going on with all my friends are going down to the cottage, spending the weekend down there. We're probably going to watch every single one back to back to back to back to back. So that's going to be fun. Probably, yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's about it. That's all I got for you. But hope you like that video, and I hope you like what I'm doing here. And yeah, if you like it, subscribe, and if you like to leave comments, leave a comment below, because I always love hearing from you guys. But until then, I will see you all at the next Lucid Nightmare. Now stay safe, stay out of trouble, and get the hell on out of here. See ya!